Hi, my name is Adora Svitak, and my Davidson Fellow Scholarship submission focuses on the theme of moments of insight. I first decided to consider the theme of moments of insight after I encountered the epiphanies of James Joyce in his work as I read it in AP English Literature and Composition. And I feel like moments of insight, in my definition, take on a much broader role. I define them in a larger way than simple epiphanies of characters and stories. They can be found as the fruits of epiphanies, for instance, in my opinion pieces on a wide range of issues. And I would say that the span of my work across many pages and genres, fiction, nonfiction, poetry, really incorporates the theme of moments of insight in diverse ways. I can express it subtly as well as more specifically to the theme. And I became interested in the project not only through my own reading of literature, but also my realization of how crucial moments of insight are to every facet of society, whether foreign policy or science. In my experience organizing the youth conference TEDx Redmond, I had the chance to speak with amazing young people who came to our stage and often, whether they knew it or not, explicitly or implicitly discussed moments of insight. Whether Jack Andraka, the young person who was sitting in biology class when he heard about antibodies and connected that information to what he had been reading about as far as new methods of testing for cancer. Or Taylor Wilson, who built a radioactive fusion machine in his home at the age of 14. These speakers from fields like science, in those cases, to literature from what I'd read previous, that really generated in my mind the idea that moments of insight may be more key to our society than we necessarily think that they are. And so I set out to curate a large collection of work that I felt applied this theme moments of insight. When I began writing some of my opinion pieces, I didn't necessarily realize how relevant they were to this theme, epiphanies or moments of insight. Oftentimes I would simply think about an issue and begin writing. But in looking back, the reason that those works were incredibly pertinent to moments of insight has to do with how I got the ideas in the first place, the genesis of my opinions on those topics. For example, one of the pieces in my submission, Would You Let Your Daughter Wear This?, a piece that I authored for the Huffington Post that received over 2,000 comments. I didn't, just do some research and think, oh, well, this is an issue that's important, the hypersexualization of girls' clothing. It actually happened in a far more split-second way. In a shopping mall where all the bras were push-ups. And the fact that you can draw an opinion in such a quick manner, simply from an experience that you have, I think is incredibly reflective of why we make decisions the way we do. It has implications for psychology, for philosophy, and many other topics. And so these opinion pieces that I wrote, looking back, every single one of them are unified by the theme, in that I didn't necessarily do comprehensive research first and then discover an end. I often had a moment of insight, which I then wrote about, discussed an issue, and justified. And so in working on this submission and trying to find a larger context for it to fit within, I definitely decided that moments of insight had been a continuation not only in research, not only in a variety of fields and in literature, but truly in progressing learning. And thinking about learning in a general way, what is learning? It's comprised of many moments where we discover things, these aha moments. And if you think back to the fabled experience of Archimedes sitting in his bathtub when he says, Eureka! And he leaps out because he's found how to discover volume and runs naked through the streets. That part, debatable, veracity. I think that you definitely see, wow, this isn't just about you get an idea, the idea is good and cool and you write it down. Moments of insight are crucial to how we learn, how we move forward as people, as societies, as humanity. And this is why I feel that moments of insight truly aren't restricted to the personal experiences. While many times they do arise from the deeply personal, from viscerally emotional experiences, or from times of injustice, or from reactions to experiences, they can truly transcend the self and have incredible relevance for all. So moments of insight to me represent a lot more than the split seconds or few minutes in which they may occur. They have long-reaching ramifications. They can address universal themes. In the example of In Biscayne Bay, a short story which I wrote in response to a news article about a piano stranded in the middle of Biscayne Bay in Florida, I realized that this one woman's struggle as she internally discusses aging and isolation and a variety of other themes, these aren't themes that are unique only to one woman in a story. They're themes that we all deal with, young or old, and they're themes that may pull our own moments of insight from us. What I hope to do in this submission is not only celebrate the story of moments of insight through characters both fictional and real, and experiences and emotions that I express in a variety of genres, but I also hope to evoke moments of insight in the reader. My greatest hope is that you, as the reader, as you come across works, opinions you may agree or disagree with, poems that may strike chords with you emotionally, I hope, and that you think and come across your own eureka moments or your own James Joyce style epiphanies, your own moments of insight. After all, if learning is a process of moments like these, and if the progress of humanity is built upon learning, then we can only hope for many, many more of these in the years to come. Thank you.